Looking back, is there anything that maybe you wish I would have learned prior to starting the cohort, or something just like what would you have told yourself that first day? Maybe let's start us off, Shazeen.
Yeah, I actually been coding for like a year before I started learn. So I felt pretty good coming in. It was more like interacting with people, honestly, because I was learning by myself for a while. Um, I think one thing I would probably tell my, because initially I kind of wanted to downplay my knowledge coming in. So I think I would just tell myself to be confident. It's okay that you know what you know. There's nothing wrong with that. So I kind of felt the need to downplay my knowledge or myself because I didn't want to make anyone feel bad. So I guess just learning how to be confident in myself without being a douchebag. So yeah, I feel like I should have been more confident. Like it's okay that I know what I know. I worked really hard for a year to know what I know, so I should have been more confident. But eventually, I learned to be more confident. So instead, I kind of took that confidence to helping my fellow cohort. Um, to the point where I realized I like teaching and I like helping people, which I got a job in, and I literally just get to help people debug all day. So that's really nice. So yeah, it helped me learn what I want, but I wish I did it sooner. I wish I was more confident in myself sooner versus later. So that's what I pretty much would say. If anyone's going in with knowledge, don't downplay yourself, but also don't be a D-bag about it.
And Greg, I remember you mentioned you had a little bit of coding experience when you started the program. That's right.
Yep, that's correct.
Do you think that helped you kind of start the program off? Like, was that little bit of experience kind of clutch, or did it kind of provide a good foundation for the start of the program?
Yeah, so I think learning about the basics of web development and app development is probably a good thing. But honestly, don't kill yourself to try to know everything ahead of time. I think that's really important. And again, I think confidence, and I think that's something that I think that's, well, let me backtrack and restart here. Yeah, so confidence basically I think is a huge thing. So making sure that you know where you're at, and that's okay. Like, I wasn't the smartest person in the room. I had a little bit of coding under my belt. I had one project under my belt, but I felt like a complete imposter. And I mean, I was in a room filled with people that were doing just laps around me at that point in time. So it was probably not the best way to come in and to have that first day attitude or that first week attitude. Yeah, just come in with an open heart, or at least know that like when you're there and you're feeling the pressure that you're either much better than everybody else or much worse, or you're somewhere in the middle, that's okay. Everybody else is feeling that too. Understand where your strengths are, understand where your weaknesses are, and continue to go through the curriculum. Just get through it. It will, I promise you, it will be 100% worth it.
And Yeem, I think what's cool is, like you mentioned, you came to a bunch of workshops. I think you also went to Jumpstart, which is our pre-course. Those workshops and kind of Jumpstart, some those pre bootcamp workshops, was that enough, you think, fundamental experience to kind of start the program? Like, was that enough, or did you still feel like maybe you needed to do a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely. So between the three of us, I'd say I probably studied even less than like Greg and Shazeen did before the cohort. I probably studied maybe like kind of like 4 months before I started, maybe like 1 to 4 times a week, 1 to 4 hours a day. But honestly, gosh, like the bootcamp is so fast. Everything that I studied in those 4 months, I was like working full time, so I didn't really have that much time to study. But everything I studied in those 4 months, we basically covered in the first 2 weeks, two weeks of the bootcamp. That's crazy. Like, so I guess what I say is, although I did take my time to study, get a little familiar with the concepts and stuff like that, like everything was so much quicker, and I learned so much more at the boot camp because of the instruction, because of the help, because of pairing, for example, being with somebody else and shooting ideas back and forth. I know, TJ, your question was, do I feel like the meetups and the jumpstart, if they're enough? Honestly, I honestly believe that they can be enough for you to get into the program. For me personally, though, just for my own comfort levels, I was happier knowing that I studied a little bit before, just so that I wouldn't feel as much as an imposter. But there are definitely some people that go straight into the program with just the jumpstart. And honestly, if you are, you're willing to put the hours in to study with your classmates, to really do the research and also take the breaks in between, I really think that the Jumpstart is a great introductory course to really help you with the first few weeks in the program.